I almost thought your screen froze up until your mouth twitched.
I'm Han Solo from the animated holiday special.
Hey, Kelly!
Oh, that hurt to do that for such a long time.
Why would they draw him that way?
I don't know.
Hey, Kelly!
His face is long too, like
Yeah,
really
it's like
long.
he had like a Beavis and Butthead head.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm Dan Carlson, one half of Two Cat Men.
And I'm Naj Faldak, the other half of Two Kept Men.
Naj Faldak. I'm Nad Narson-Lack.
Naj Faldak.
Is that your Star Wars character's name?
Yeah, my Star Wars character name is Naj Faldak.
Oh man, we have to come up with a backstory. Oh, that hurt doing that eye thing, man.
Yeah, don't do that. It's bad for your eyes. So Dan made a deal with me. I get this
Faustian bargain.
I get this frantic message from Dan that I need to immediately at that very moment rent the movie Crawl and watch it post haste.
Mm-hmm.
And
you were not very eager.
I know it looked like something that should have been named Crocnado.
Mm-hmm. That's what you said.
Yeah, that's what I said. And so I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I coerced you.
With the coercion that Dan was able to produce, I rented and watched Crawl.
With the proviso
that Dan would watch The Lighthouse.
A movie I take no joy in awaiting the viewing of. I have no interest in seeing. Even the thought of it now makes me want to see it less than I did a day ago.
You know, that was very that was very Kirk of you right there.
Oh yeah.
Even the thought right now. Oh my God, it's Willem Dafoe.
I love Willem Dafoe. It's probably one of my favorite actors.
Then why on earth would you not at least want to give it a shot?
Well, I'm going to because of this Faustian bargain that you've foisted upon me. In order to get you to see.
Offered the bargain and I took it.
That's true. That's true. You took it very quickly. You didn't have to think about it at all. You said deal, and then before I even clicked off on the email, you had rented Crawl. We did find that you had a different opinion of Crawl after watching it than you thought you would have before you watched it. The main character is Kaya, is someone named Haley. She's Kaya Scodelario.
And she was really good.
Fantastic.
She's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she was great. And so it's from Alexander Aja, who directed The Hills Have Eyes and the Piranha 3D movie. So I knew it was going to deliver on the Gru a little bit. I figured it would be a little gorier than it was.
Didn't it? Wasn't Sam Raimi involved somehow?
Yes, he produced.
Okay.
What we have here is a situation.
Yes, there is a Category 5. There's a Category 5 hurricane headed for Florida, and they live down. I'm guessing somewhere fictitious near the Everglades or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the crocodile population is high in that area.
It's a very successful crocodile mating location.
Yeah. And
You can always you can find a lot of crocodiles in the area if you're on Tinder. Just look.
yes, yes. Swipe left. Anyway, so category 5, and this girl is an Olympic class swimmer, and her sister
And
lives somewhere else.
It's established very quickly and very succinctly and very well that she can swim great, and she has a phone call with her sister, finds out her father's still hasn't been
area.
heard from, and he's somewhere in the area.
He's a construction guy. He owns his own construction business, and she can't get a hold of him, so she asks her sister Haley to go. Is it Haley or Kaylee?
Haley.
Haley, to go and check on him, and she makes those suggestions always from afar. She left a long time ago, apparently, and has a baby and all that. So she decides to go and head down that way, and there's a blockade because of an accident, and they wouldn't let anybody else head down towards further south. But happens to be that the cop is her friend, and I think he acted in Bathtub Time Machine.
Bathtub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot tub, not bathtub.
And
that's the asylum version.
So she's like, okay, I'll turn around, but she kind of asks, can I go? And he's like, no, because there's a big line of cars and they all would have freaked out. But anyway, so
I think he also wanted to protect her. I mean,
well, yeah, but he was interested more in her sister anyway. And anyway, so she goes forward and then looks around. Everybody's paying attention to something else. So she just cuts over and goes. And the water is already starting to rise. She gets to the house. No one's there but the dog. Or to the
apartment.
Business, to the condo. Yeah.
Yeah, condo.
And then she contacts the sister, says he's not here. The dog's here. So she loads up the dog and she heads out to the old house that he was supposed to sell. They all grew up in. And once they get there, she and the dog go in the house and look around, calling for him out. His phone is there, ready to die. There are a lot of indicators that he's there. There's vehicles there, all of that. So eventually the dog leads her to the basement stairs. She goes down there. She's looking around for him. And what comes out of the out from under the stairwell, but a 12-foot crocodile busts through, and she makes it away from him and finds her dad. And her dad has already been chomped by the guy
in the
shoulder, and his leg was busted really, really bad. So they have some touching moments there, and then they, from that point on, they are basically trying to find their way out of the basement. Yeah.
And there's not just one crocodile in the basement.
There's at least two, and then a third, and then a fourth.
I thought I counted at least 7 total. Plus
in the basement?
Well, there were some outside.
Well, there were more than that. I mean, there were like a dozen or so crocs in that area.
There were babies.
Yeah, there was one. They showed one baby, but they showed a lot of eggs. So basically what it was is the drain pipe, the overflow drain pipe that goes out from their basement. Crocs had already been coming in and laying their eggs down there. So that's why that house was a hotbed for the crocs, because that was their nesting area. I don't know. I think I'd noticed some crocs going in and out of my basement, but maybe.
Well, I
yes.
think the indication was that he was not spending time in this house, that he went there
That's
to
true.
do he went
So
there to
maybe it
do
was a nice
something.
quiet place for them to be.
So I think the crocodiles came in when he was gone, and then he came back and got trapped. So I think that because he was living elsewhere, this is a house that he was supposed to have sold, but he didn't because he didn't want to move on.
Right.
And so he came back to the house, and then the crocodiles trapped him, and here we are.
Yeah.
So,
And through the course of them trying to escape, she gets bitten on the leg as well.
she gets bitten all over the fucking place.
Well, at first, the first bite is the leg. And then when she's trying to get out through the sewer pipe, she finds the body of her friend and gets his gun. And, and then
One of my favorite
Croc
shots
comes
of
up
the
and
movie.
grabs her hand, and then she shoots him empties the entire magazine
while her hand is being chewed.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's where you really have to suspend disbelief because first of all, you get bit on your leg or whatever by a croc, it's going to do damage like the father had, where it's going to break the shin bone, and then it's going to barrel roll until it tears your leg off and eat it. But somehow they don't really do the barrel rolls a whole lot.
She did get barrel rolled once,
but that's their kind of prime way of doing it. But anyway, so like I say, you have to suspend disbelief a little bit because the wounds that they sustain are much less drastic, I think, than what we'd actually see. Like when she was being barrel rolled under the water with the croc on her shoulder, that croc would have totally ripped her arm clear off. And then same thing with the father when he got bit on his arm. Did it rip his arm off, or no? It didn't. It did. It mangled it.
No, it ripped it off.
Oh, it did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, anyway, the human body can sustain a lot of damage, but I'm sorry, but he would have passed out.
This is a popcorn movie of the highest order.
It is a popcorn movie, but again, I'm just saying because you have to suspend disbelief.
Yeah, but the trailer lets you know that before you even get into the movie.
I know,
So
and maybe I look for too much.
All I got to say is that me and my mom were watching it together, and we were on the edge of our seat the entire time.
Nick and I were as well. I mean,
she was jumping out of her seat. She was
covering
her face.
We
gasping.
Were too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the movie was fantastic while we were watching it. It's not until afterwards I start thinking about things like, they probably ripped her shoulder clean off, or
there's a bunch of stuff that I don't think she would have been able to empty that clip into the alligator with the teeth ripping into her nerve tendons and everything like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that her hand wouldn't have responded regardless,
Yeah, and then also...
So what? It makes a good moment when,
It does. It was a good moment. I was like, holy shit.
I mean, how many movies do we watch with superheroes flying around all the time?
Yeah, and, pretty much all movies that we watch, I like suspending disbelief because that's what makes the movies fun. I don't want to become that person who reviews movies that says it was totally unrealistic. Well, yeah, but so is a horde of crocodiles attacking everybody in this one block area, So you just have to enjoy it for what it is. And that is, it's a disaster made worse by nature.
That could not have been a fun movie to film.
No, being in the water all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that you would have had to have kept that water fairly warm.
Hands.
What?
Probably would have got prune hands.
Oh, I thought you said poo hands.
Prune hands.
Yeah.
Can't do my drawings when I got prune hands.
Oh, yeah. I say press play.
Press play. I'm going to watch it so many times.
At one point, I think Nick got up and went and closed the front door. He was like, I'll be right back. And I go, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to go lock the front door.
That's the best review you could could ask for.
Yeah.